Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a skill that can, and I mean this, literally change the game for your career and, honestly, for your relationships too. We're talking about active listening. And it's so much more than just being quiet. It's a seriously powerful, strategic tool.
You know that feeling, right? You're in a meeting, maybe you're just talking to a friend, and you can just tell that your words are, well, they're just hanging in the air, like nobody's actually catching them. It's frustrating, and we've all been there.
Okay, so just how big of a deal is this? Well, check this out. Research from the Interaction Design Foundation found that a whopping 60% of all errors in the workplace come from poor communication. Think about that. More than half of the mistakes, the slip-ups, the do-overs, could be avoided if we just got a little better at listening. This isn't just about feelings. This is about real-world impact.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the pretty high price we pay for not listening. Then, we're going to get super clear on what active listening actually is and isn't. After that, we'll build out a toolkit you can use right away, we'll talk about why action is the secret sauce, and finally, we'll tackle those common roadblocks that trip us all up.
You know, the stakes are way higher than just a few mistakes or some wasted time. When miscommunication becomes a pattern, it's like a poison for trust. It eats away at psychological safety and can bring really important projects to a dead stop.
So what really is the difference between just hearing the sound someone is making and truly actively listening? Well, it's all about a fundamental shift, moving from being just a passive wall that sound bounces off of to being an active, engaged participant in the conversation.
The Center for Creative Leadership really nails the definition here. Active listening is a full contact sport for your brain and body. It's not just about letting words go in one ear. It's about total concentration, picking up on the emotion and the body language, and then, this is key, responding in a way that shows you actually got it.
This comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have passive listening. You're distracted, you're checking your phone, you're just waiting for a pause so you can jump in and say your thing. That road leads to a whole lot of wrong assumptions. But on the other side, you've got active listening, full attention, a real desire to understand, not just to reply. You're hearing the words and the feeling behind them, and that is how you build clarity and, most importantly, trust.
And this brings us to probably the most critical mindset shift of all. Active listening is not about you. It's not about gathering ammo for your rebuttal. The real goal, the only goal, is to make the other person feel genuinely heard, understood, and valued. When you can do that, the whole dynamic of the conversation just transforms.
Okay, let's get into the how-to. We're going to build your personal active listening toolkit with some super practical techniques you can literally start using in your very next conversation.
The Center for Creative Leadership gives us these 6 core steps. It all starts with the basics. Pay attention, and that means no multitasking. Then you gotta withhold judgment, just for a bit. After that, you reflect what you've heard, clarify anything that's fuzzy, summarize the main points, and only then, at the very end, do you share your own thoughts.
That step on reflecting or paraphrasing, it's an absolute game changer. Using a simple phrase like this does 2 incredibly powerful things. First, it makes sure you've got it right, and second, it gives them a chance to correct you or add more detail. It's like this little confirmation loop that gets you both perfectly in sync.
Now, withholding judgment, that can be the hardest part. Marcus Wormuth calls these phrases conversation killers, and man, we are all guilty of these. We jump in trying to fix it, or we try to top their story, or we just offer some empty platitude. But what these reactions really do is shut the other person down. They signal that we're done listening and ready to talk.
Okay, so you can master all those techniques, but that's really only half the story. The real, lasting power of active listening isn't just in the conversation itself. It's in what you do after the conversation is over.
And if you need proof, just look at this. This data from the Center for Creative Leadership is a total wake-up call. It shows how heard employees feel. When a leader just listens, the score is okay. It's 45. But when that leader listens and then takes action, boom, it jumps all the way to 90. That is a massive difference.
In fact, the feeling of being heard is literally more than twice as strong when your listening is followed up with some kind of concrete action. It's just not enough to nod your head and say, "I understand." People need to see that their words actually mattered, that they led to something.
And this leads to a pretty wild conclusion when you think about it. It means that a pretty mediocre listener who actually does something can build more trust than a fantastic listener who does nothing. Action is the ultimate proof that you are listening.
Of course, none of this is as easy as it sounds. If it were, we'd all be amazing listeners already. We all have these internal roadblocks that get in our way, so let's name them and figure out how to get around them.
Marcus Hormuth points out 3 big ones, especially for people wired to be problem solvers. First, that powerful urge to just jump in and fix things. Second, that real discomfort we can feel when someone is showing strong emotions. And third, our almost universal allergy to silence in a conversation.
The solution, believe it or not, is pretty simple. It just takes a little discipline. You have to resist that first impulse to fix or to advise. Instead, you just ask, what would be most helpful for you right now? Or do you want to brainstorm solutions, or do you just need to vent? Just ask.
So when you really start to master this, active listening stops being some soft skill on a resume, and it becomes your secret weapon. It's an engine for your career. It's a multiplier for your leadership. It gives you a true strategic edge.
So, I've got a little challenge for you. Your very next conversation today, just try these 3 tiny things. 1, put your phone down and give them 100% of your focus. 2, just reflect one idea back to them. And 3, try to name an emotion you're hearing, like, wow, that sounds really frustrating. That's it. Just see what happens.
Because here's the bottom line. Mastering this skill makes you the person people want on their team. You become the person they trust, the one they respect, the one they want to bring into the important conversations. It opens doors you didn't even know were there, all because you make people feel seen and heard.
So, that's our explainer on active listening. You've got the tools, you know why it matters. Now the only question left is, who are you going to go out and truly listen to first? Thanks for tuning in.